Welcome to Uptime Spotlight, shining light on wind energy's brightest innovators. This is the progress powering tomorrow.
Søren, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you, Alan, and nice doing it face-to-face.
Yes,
and not
it's
as
great.
a team call.
Right, that's true. You've been doing a good bit of traveling, and you're the new head of CNC Onsite.
I am, yes.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And all the exciting new things that CNC Onsite is doing, plus all the things you have developed and are now out in the field implementing. The list goes on and on and on. Every time I talk to you, we got a new machine to do something Uptower, because it's all Uptower, which is the beauty of CNC Onsite. You're thinking about the operator and the cost to pull the blades off and do lift and the cell off and all those things. If we can do it Uptower, we can save 30, 40, 50% of the cost of a repair.
Yeah.
That's where CNC Onsite is just really killing it. You guys are doing great.
Thank you. Of course, we like what we do, but thank you.
No, it's good. It's good. And so let's talk about the things that I know about, and we'll start there, and then we'll go to all the new things you're doing. So the one that I see a lot of operators asking about is yaw tooth.
Yeah.
Deformations, broken teeth on the yaw gear. That's a big problem. And when I talk to technicians and I have them texting me about this, like, I just weld on the gear back on, weld the tooth back on. That's a short-term solution. That's not going to be a long-term. The long-term solution is a CNC Onsite. Can you explain what you do to permanently fix these yaw gear problems?
So what we do is actually we start by getting information about the original yaw ring, so the dimension of the teeth, and we get some load data. And then we start designing a replacement segment. So the process is actually that we bring a CNC controlled machine up tower, mount it on the yaw ring, and then we mill away that worn area, creating a small pocket. And then those segments that we have designed, they are prefabricated. We bring them up and mount them in that pocket and bring the yaw ring back to its, you can say, original design that way.
It's better than the original design because you're actually putting in better teeth than the manufacturer did originally.
True. Yeah.
So that happens. So you're machining out those old teeth, broken teeth, putting the new set of teeth in, and that all bolts in, and that's it.
That's it.
The difficulty is getting the machinery up tower to do that. That's where a lot of your technology comes from, is getting this very accurate, well-defined machine up tower and doing very controlled grinding and milling.
Yes.
So can you explain what that system looks like? If I'm going to grind off those broken yaw teeth, how big is that kit?
Obviously, it depends a little bit on the turbine size.
Sure, okay,
So the newer 5, 6, 10 megawatt turbines have larger teeth. So there you need a larger machine.
Okay.
But let's say for Vestas 3 megawatt, the complete machine weighs about 250 kilos.
That's it?
Yeah. So it comes up in smaller components. We just use the internal crane in the nacelle. And then we can lift the components to the yaw ring, assemble the machine, and then we are basically good to go. So it takes less than a day to get everything up and get set and be ready to machine.
So if you want to fix a yaw gear problem, how long does it take from start to finish to get that done?
It takes 1 day to get everything up and get ready, and then per 6 teeth, which is a typical segment, it takes about a day to machine that. So let's say you have somewhere between 10 and 15 teeth. It's 2 to 3 segments. So we do that in a week.
Because the alternative is call a crane, have it lifted the cell off, take the yaw gear off, put a yaw gear on, if you can find a yaw gear, put the nacelle back on. Well, I guess obviously the rotors are coming down too. So you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in downtime. It's a big ordeal. The CNC Onsite method is so much easier.
We will just put our equipment in the back of our truck, and then we are ready to mobilize in a few days. So we can significantly bring down the downtime. And as you said, the crane cost is of course extremely high. And then you can add all the project management, do I actually have my access roads still available?
Right.
Is the crane pad intact? And all of that stuff you need to organize. You can just forget about that and
get it done.
Get it done, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of owners. Everybody knows who the machines are that have the yaw tooth problem.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those owner operators, you better get a hold of CNC Onsite. Now, flanges on tower sections. It's become a really critical issue. You hear a lot of operators, OEMs talking about, I'm putting together these tower sections and those flanges don't really meet up quite right.
Yeah.
I'm creating uneven torque patterns, my bolt tightening is not quite right.
Yeah.
And it never really seats right. So you have this built-in mechanical problem. CNC Onsite is now fixing that, so those flanges are actually really flat.
Really flat, yes.
Because that's what you need.
Yeah.
They're highly loaded.
If you want your joints to be basically maintenance-free, we can achieve that with machining the flanges. And then, of course, you need to be in control with your bolt tightening process.
Sure.
But if you do those two things, you can have maintenance-free bolted connections. And there's so much money to be saved in the operations. And, of course, when you have these bolts that end up fatiguing, some of them don't get caught in time and you end up having a catastrophic failure on the turbine.
We've seen
because
that.
you have that zipper effect. Once a bolt starts breaking, the neighboring ones take that extra load and it accelerates really quickly.
Sure does. Yeah, it's a very serious situation, but it starts with this very simple solution, which is just make the flange flat.
Yeah, but I think a part of the issue is that those buying the towers aren't necessarily responsible for the operational cost of maintaining that bolted connection. So they might save a little bit of money when they buy the tower sections with rougher tolerances, but you will spend the money 10 times in the operations. And I think that's where some of the operations, those responsible for operational costs should get a little bit more capex spend.
Sure.
Yeah, and then actually save a lot of money and reduce risk. It's a huge
It's one of those lessons learned. You don't know that they should be flat. You don't know your flanges should be flat until you experience the problems, and then you want all your flanges flat from here on out.
Yeah.
But there's only one way to do that, really, and that's to call CNC Onsite to come in and to make them flat.
Yeah.
Because it's a difficult thing to do. You really need to have the machining prowess and the tight tolerances that CNC Onsite is going to deliver in a tool that can actually be adapted to that tower ring and make those surfaces flat. It's complicated.
Exactly. It is. But that is what we do every day. So
Yes,
so
to take on those challenges.
Yeah. So we are optimizing our machines to be not only fit for one-offs, but actually to go into a manufacturing process. So we have optimized our machines a lot with automatic alignment and stuff like that to really make that process easier, because it has been considered that when you had to machine a flange, you weren't in control with your production processes. But I think that is a bit of a misinterpretation. It's a little bit like saying when I have a casted component, I cannot get a bearing fit in my cast process. That's not because your cast process is wrong. There's just some limitations to what you can do.
Sure.
And it's basically the same here. And if you apply that planned machining, you can gain some real benefits later on, and the cost will, of course, drop dramatically if you plan it rather than call for one every time you have one that is out of tolerances, and you can even narrow those tolerances down and get the benefits from maintenance-free bolted connections.
Right, right, because you're going to pay for it for the next 20, 30 years. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Now, you're getting involved in some of the safety aspects of operating a turbine. Some of the pins and the lockouts on the low-speed gearboxes get a little worn over time. So the hole you put the pin in gets worn. There's a lot of loads on that, and it starts to oblong out. And eventually, if you're trying to work on that gearbox, you're trying to keep that your technician safe, which is what you're doing. That lockout pin doesn't quite fit in the hole, and it creates a little bit of a safety risk. So now CNC Onsite's coming in and saying, hey, wait a minute, we can realign that, clean that hole up, make that safe again.
Yes.
Explain what that looks like and what that process is to do that.
Yeah. So again, it's the same thought like with the yaw ring, that instead of bringing a component down and trying to fix that, we have designed some machinery we can bring up tower and then make that repair. So basically what we do is that we mill that hole a little bit larger, and then we bring a bushing that we freeze into that hole, and
Okay.
to recreate that tight fit again with a locking pin. So it's not that complicated, but you still need to know, of course, what you are doing. So finding the center of the original hole is one of the critical things, because you want the center of the new ring to be in that same position
Sure.
to make sure it fits with the pin, right?
Right. You
So-
can't just take a drill up there and try to clean out that hole.
No,
That
no.
is not the way to do that.
That won't work.
No, no. I'm sure it's been tried, but
Yeah.
no, you want to have actual tight tolerance machinery up there to align that hole, drill it properly, put that insert back into that spot,
Yeah.
which is going to be a hardened insert, so it'll last longer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So once you do that, it's a permanent fix to an otherwise nagging problem.
Yeah,
That's
true.
wonderful.
Yeah,
So again, that kit just goes right up tower, right up the lift, right up the crane,
Exactly.
and bang, you're done.
yeah. So
Okay.
all our machines are designed to be able to be lifted with the internal crane
Yeah.
of that specific nacelle.
Okay.
So obviously, as the cells go bigger, they have more load
do.
capacity.
Yes,
So for the smaller turbines, the machines come in a bit smaller parts,
Okay.
so that we are sure we stay within that 250 or 500 kilogram, or even whatever the limit is of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
crane.
yeah.
And then we can reassemble everything up tower and still do tolerances within a few hundredths of a millimeter. And I think that is really the core of what we do, that we can achieve those workshop tolerances on site.
It's crazy when I tell people that. I say, well, CNC Onsite, they can't, I mean, those tolerances can't be that tight. And I say, no. They're talking about, fractions of a millimeter, which in American terms means fractions of a mil. That's
Yeah.
1/1000th of an inch. That's the tolerance you're doing.
Yeah.
And that means quality at the end of the day. If you can machine things that tight, that means what you're getting is going to be right for that job.
Yeah.
It's going to fix that problem permanently, which is the goal.
Yes.
Don't recreate the problem. Just fix it once and be done. Now, blade root inserts. Huge issue. CNC Onsite has been developing tooling to drill out those existing inserts and put in new inserts, and you're having success with that.
Yeah.
It seems like a complicated process, but you have honed that quite well. Talk about what that machinery looks like today, how you're doing that process, and what have you learned from doing some field work?
It's we've developed two different machines now. So
Okay.
we have one that is fully CNC controlled when you need to do a lot of bushings.
Yeah.
That one takes a bit more time to set up, but each drilling process is really fast. And then we have developed a semi-automatic machine as well, which is a little bit easier to mounts directly on the blade. And it's really perfect when you only have smaller areas of the blade root where you don't need to replace all bushings, but maybe typically it's in the high load area, which is 15 to 20 bushings, maybe
Right.
something like that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So there we can just mount it directly on the blade and then drill from there. And it works really well. We completed the first large-scale commercial project together with our good friends from We4C.
Right. Yes.
And now we are producing two more drilling machines for new upcoming projects, also together with the guys from We4C.
Wow.
So now it's starting to pick up. It's been a relatively long process, and I guess no one really wants to be the first mover on new technology, right?
Right.
So we've had a lot of questions. Oh, that looks interesting, but how many turbines, how many blades have you repaired? And it's been up until now, well, it's only tested in the lab, but now we have the first large-scale commercial project with 26 turbines repaired and 1,000 bushings that were replaced across those 26 turbines. So,
Wow.
so I guess that is now large-scale.
That's large
yeah.
scale. I would
Yeah.
consider 1,000 a large scale
Yeah.
test. Yes. And that brings all those turbines back to life.
Absolutely. They are up running at full power again, so that is
That's huge.
really nice.
So the operator, I'm sure they love that.
Yeah. And of course, there's been a lot of discussions about blades and the waste issue you have on worn out blades.
Sure.
So by being able to fix them instead of replacing them, not only is the cost for fixing a blade a lot lower than buying new ones, but also from an environmental perspective, not having to scrap them and create that waste is also a nice thing.
Yeah, it's one of the things that pops up more recently about replacing blades. And I think the industry and the operators are pushing back on that because a lot of times the OEM wants to replace a blade. It's just easier for them to do.
Yeah.
But the reality is that, yeah, you're creating this additional problem. What are you going to do with the disposal of this blade? Do we really need to do that? Is it so far gone that I can't recover it? I think a lot of times, especially with fiberglass blades, you can bring them back to life.
Yeah.
Just with a little bit of engineering prowess and some good machinery,
yeah,
you can make magic happen. And that's what CNC Onsite is doing. So that's really amazing that you're starting to get more adoption of that on the blade root inserts. I know across the United States there's all kinds of issues, and you're proving it out. I think the adoption rate in America and all over is going to really step up. Now, you always have some cool new project, that's sort of top secret. What are you working on that the world needs to know about?
Yeah, well, I mean, we are constantly expanding our line of services. So we are just out there trying to listen to what kind of issues do we see in the industry, and how can that be fixed Uptower. So some of the latest innovations we've been doing is a new machine on to do shaft milling. So that can be on generator shafts, for instance. There are some machines out there, but we've decided to go again CNC controlled because it gives us a lot of opportunities both on speed of the process. It's a more safe way to do it.
Sure.
And we can actually also do different shapes on the shaft, so we can do more advanced repairs. We don't need to stick to a certain diameter all the way. Now we can make grooves, and we can do all sorts of stuff along that process because it's CNC controlled.
Oh, sure. Okay. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you can actually take a basic design of a shaft and make modifications to it to extend the lifetime and make it work better.
Yes. So typically we would mill down the shaft and install a sleeve to recreate a bearing fit, for instance.
Yeah.
But we have possibilities to create grooves or anything that would do a stress relief or whatever you need, lubrication, or if you want to do something afterwards, we can do that with our machines. So yeah, we have some new machines for hollow shaft machining, so we can do stuff inside the main shaft. For instance, we can do stuff on the outside, as I mentioned, on the generator shaft, but that could be on the gearbox as well. So sometimes we see issues on the main shaft to gearbox connection. Yeah, we are able to fix those things Uptower, and so yeah, a lot of new stuff being developed.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and I know you guys are busy, but if somebody wants to get a hold of CNC Onsite and get work done this year, they better be making phone calls to you quickly. So I know your order book is filling up, and you're having to devote crews and machinery and time. Yeah. How do people get a hold of you and get on that contact list and start working the process?
I would say go into cnconsite.dk, and there we have all our contacts. So just reach out. There's a formula you can fill in, or you can find our direct contacts in our webpage, and then we can start looking at it. So we are quite busy, but we are always open for discussions, and
That's a problem with being successful, is you're just always busy running around trying to take care of problems. And that's the thing, is that everybody I talk to that's used CNC Onsite loves it, and loves the process and loves the work you do. So there's going to be a lot more phone calls and a lot more orders coming your way, and that's awesome. Søren, it's so good to see you again. It's so good to see you in person, and congratulations on the promotion and everything that's happening at CNC Onsite.
Thank you, Alan.